What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Raven Invest. So today I'm super excited because today I am debuting my new series, Budget Flipping on COMC. I am going to show you how I use COMC as a replacement for local card shop or card show dollar bins.
I'd buy that for $1.
And how I consistently make profit selling raw cards. I'll share my tips, my strategies, my tools. So let's get to work and let's get flipping. Okay, so now that we're back at the computer, we can get to flipping. First, today we're not targeting specific players. Today we're kind of targeting more flips. We're going to take, yes, obviously popular players, good skilled players and things like that, but we're going to look for opportunities in their card where we can flip the card for a certain percentage very quickly. It really doesn't matter. It does matter the player, but it doesn't necessarily matter if I'm targeting them for an investment. We're not looking for cards that are at a price now that are going to go up. We're looking for cards that are at a price now, and we're looking for cards that are priced down here, kind of thing. But you'll kind of see what I mean when we get into it a little bit more. But my main goal here is just to give you an idea of kind of the structure I look at, what I'm looking for in certain situations with cards, and then we'll get into more depths and details in other episodes. And again, I don't want to make these episodes crazy long as well too, because I know it's not necessarily fun to see somebody punching around on a computer for 30 minutes. So I'll try and keep them entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Okay, so now one of the methods I usually try to employ to search for deals is search through a set. And having the ability to be able to value a player against another player helps in this instance. If you're not sure of football, if you're just getting into football, one thing that will help out is signing up at thecardquest.com and sign up for Andy and myself's free rookie card investment tool. This is going to help you compare players, and that's one of the fundamentals that you'll need to build up to kind of employ this system. But there are ways to do it if you don't know what the sport is and things like that. But it does help if you're the more familiar you are with the sport, the better it does help. So what I would normally do, again, is I would come in and we, for example, we'll go take a look at the canvas set. So to save everybody the time, since I know my computer's has been sluggish for the last little bit, I've already went to the site and I filtered out the card. So normally what I would do is, and I do this a couple times a day with a couple different sets. I alternate years some days, I do all year some days, I do a couple years some days, depending on how much time I have, things like that, how much bankroll I have. Again, I'm trying not to put more money back in. I want to use money from the sale of the cards to rebuy other cards. So that's my goal. So I'm not necessarily buying all the time. I do carry a balance now where, a couple months ago I wouldn't necessarily be able to carry a balance. So to get back to the cards here, what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll through, and the idea with this is to kind of skim over the players and look for names that stand out. Players that are okay. So like we've all seen these are like our bottom tier players, third, fourth string defensive players, backup quarterbacks and stuff like that. If you see a starting rookie within this kind of pile, then that's a hint. Hey, wait a minute, why is this player grouped in the prices of the other player? So like, there's nothing necessarily big that stands out. I'm a Devin Duvernay guy, but that's definitely a speculation on my end. I wouldn't ever say go buy him because he's going to be great. I think he's going to have some opportunities this year, but nevertheless. So one that kind of comes close here, and I'm trying to pick an example for the video, would be, say, Jalen Rager. He's a wide receiver on a fairly big market team with a new starting quarterback this year, a new partner in crime wide receiver. So I think he necessarily should, that's a little bit of a low price for his card. So let's click into it and we'll have a look. Okay, so when we get on this page, the first thing that I am looking at is the first price on the page and the last price on the page. So the first price is 30 cents and the last price is 75 cents. So the way that I've set up, the way that I basically I want to double everything with the 5% sale fee included. As you can see, I've already got one of his cards here. So what my goal is when I first see a card is this first price double plus 5% greater than the last number on the card? If it is, then it's not a right price. If it is, where does it end up, right? For this one, so we're looking at 65 cents roughly. So if I get 65 cents, that's going to plot me right here. So that's going to put me 1, 2, 3, fourth in line to double my money on that card. So to me, it's not a lot of money. It's not a ton of money. But if I can do this repeatedly, this is the kind of thing that I've been doing to consistently make 100% profits on the cards that I'm selling. So we're going to go in and buy this for 30 cents. I'm not even going to make an offer. Usually I found that people that do sales like that don't generally accept offers. So, and then we're just going to reprice it right back out at 65 cents. So we'll go back into the listing. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the list.
It's one bet. Two bets.
So I'm still in a pretty good shot to sell this. And normally this would scare me off. Only 24 sales. But there's not that many cards. If there was 100 cards and there was only 24 sales in the same time, that might scare me off. There's not quite as many canvas as there is the base. So you're going to see the sales drop a little bit. And I don't mind pushing the card back a little bit further if it's definitely a player that I think has some ascension coming to their card. So, okay, so we'll back out and we'll go see if there's anything else there. Now, if in case you're wondering, I did buy the 30-cent card and there's also the 40-cent card there. Well, if you take that 40-cent card, so it's 80 cents plus the 5%, I'm looking at so 85 cents roughly is what I would need. That would put me off the first page, so I don't want to buy that 40-cent card right now. I just wanted to make sure there's only a 10% difference. The wider the gap between the first card and the last card is the better situation to make money, in my opinion. So I look for those kind of all day long. So we'll have a look there. We'll see if there's any more that kind of stick out to me here. Brian Edwards is another guy. I got a lot of these cards. This may be even my card for sale. I think he's going to be another good receiver. I've read a lot of the local reporters. They really like him, even maybe a little bit more than Ruggs. But we'll see how it goes. But I think he's one of my spec guys that is super cheap. That I think is can't get any cheaper at some points. So it's only going to go up. And I've actually been able to pick up a few press proof gold and silver, I think, of him. So those are numbered to 99 and 50. So okay, so we got $1 on the bottom page and 40 cents. So this is clearly that I can come in and buy this, list it out for 85 cents, still be on the first page. Right, so now I'm sitting in, well, I've got it at 6, 7, and 8, but the one I just bought is an 8 spot. I didn't knock any of my other guys off because I bought the card, and I'm good. I'm in a good position on this card, right? I feel it's beneficial to a person to have the majority of cards that are listed on the first page. Just gives you an opportunity to kind of control what goes on, dropping or moving your cards around and things like that. But I'll get into more of that strategy as we get further in the series. So yeah, my computer crapped out of me again, and so I was going to go show another card to look at, but I thought I would end it since my computer decides that the video doesn't want to go on any further. I'm going to show you this last card, and this is basically a situation that I try to avoid as much as possible, and it does happen with Mosaic. So for this is Brian Edwards, same guy that we were just looking at. This is his Mosaic for 20 cents. So you look kind of on the surface, that looks like a pretty good price for an up, similar to the Don Russ and his canvas card and stuff like that. But if you look at the difference, there's 222 of them, and the number necessarily doesn't have to scare you off. But if you take the first card on the page is 20 cents. The last card on the page is 35 cents. There's a 15-cent difference. So the difference is less than what the card price would be. Now, if you want to set a 50% return, then you apply that. And so if you only want to make 30 cents, so that could squeeze in on here. Me, I like to keep it at the 100%. It gives me some wiggle room. That way I can maneuver around the board a little bit. If you set it at 50% and then somebody comes below you, then you're going to have to take another loss. If I set it at 100% and somebody jumps in front of me, then I can always adjust it and I'm still in the profit there. So before my computer completely dies, again, I just wanted to point that out. So very important, first thing you got to look at when you're buying a card. If you're planning on selling this card off COMC, then you could probably buy this whole page and resell them for $1.25 on eBay or at a local card show or something like that. On COMC, this is not a good buy. I don't think, just because in order to make a decent amount of profit, you're going to have to bury yourself quite a few pages down because there's so many cards and they're so cheap and they're so close together. The ideal and the best situations that you can get on COMC are cards where the first card and the last card are more than double, triple difference. Okay, that's really what you want to look for. Those are the situations, right? So for me to even make the double that I prefer to make, the 100%, I'm not even going to make it on the, I'm 40, so 40, 45, 42, 43, 44 cents, somewhere around there is where I would have listed that 20-cent card. So I'm not even going to make it onto page 3, so now I got to wait. Now the one thing though about Mosaic is there is quite a bit of sales. So maybe you could take a risk on with a more popular player. But definitely, I do not buy a lot of Mosaic unless there's an ideal situation. Now, for example, if that Brian Edwards was 5 cents, I would buy it, relist it for 20, relist it for the whatever the bottom price is, and I would make my profit. But because the first card is not significantly lower than the second card, and there's not enough gap from in the last card, it's not a good buy for me. I want to thank everybody for your support. Again, I appreciate it. we're getting close to 100. I mean, we still got a ways to go, but we're kicking up there to 100. So thank you very much. Make sure you throw a like on this video. We'll get more in depth with the videos. Still working on how I exactly want to structure them, but there will be more to come. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And again, thank you very much. And until next time, everyone stay safe.